So yeah, I think about 4 has to be moral.
All right, guys. We're ready.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Okay.
So this is Mongolian Mindset, and we have Klee type in Henli, right? We've had Henli on the channel 2 fucking times. We've typed him a certain type. We're not going to say because we're going to see what she correlates it with, because this is kind of a running project for me, is to get correlations with Enneagram, with MBTI, and I'm very certain of Henli's type. So we shall see what happens here.
And I'm very certain. I'm not certain at all. But I hope I can prove.
I'm talking about your MBTI. I'm not talking about your Enneagram.
Sure. But for the Enneagram,
I'm trying to get correlations for type and Enneagram. So, you know.
And I'm trying to prove to the Mongolian Mindset community that this type can be the type that I think I am in Enneagram. All right, go ahead.
Let's go.
All right. First of all, I want to know how old you are. I don't think I asked you that yet.
21.
21. Okay, thank you. Just for some context, some of the questions are crazy for children. You're just like, no, I'm not. Like, I don't take care of my financial needs. My parents do. But anyway. Okay, so just briefly describe yourself a little bit for me.
Where do I even begin with that question? Oh my God. Most people would consider me, because most people are probably better judges of character than I am of myself. They say I'm very deep thinker, passionate, opinionated, intelligent, obviously. I mean, like, come on, just let me. Arrogant, a bit narcissistic. Have a very high opinion of myself for no reason. And I guess ambitious. Yeah.
Okay, writing this down. I'm going to challenge you, even though I love the way you answered and it's very insightful for your type. How would you describe yourself apart from what others have told you?
Ambitious.
Ambitious still? Okay. All right. Question 2. Where is your focus when you enter into a room of strangers?
Nowhere. Like I just don't care. I'm completely in my own world, pretty much. I'd often listening to a podcast because I'm always trying to learn new things. So I'd be listening on headphones to whatever, random people talking about whatever, quite often I'd listen to one of Mercer's videos, not because I'm interested necessarily in learning people's types, but so that I shoot 2 birds in one. I listen to the interview and get to know about their life while also listening to commentary of their type in the background. So I shoot 2 birds in one, extra efficiency, But yeah, if there's a really pretty girl there, that's where my attention will go. But if it's New York subway, yeah, no, I'm like everyone else just.
That's awesome. Okay. Okay. My page is being really annoying. Okay, and then third question: if you could be any animal, which animal would you be and why?
Maybe a dolphin, because they communicate with other animals, apparently in a language that's more, what's the word, like broad than what humans can. And if not them, maybe a bird or something, because they go on land, sea, and air, all 3 of them, so that's a whole adventure.
Okay. Now for some deep stuff. Obviously, every question you don't have to answer, but I will ask you anyway, and I know this is being recorded, so people will hear this, but describe your childhood for me in as much detail as you feel comfortable.
I don't remember a lot of it, to be honest with you. I have a suspicion I blocked it out because I don't like thinking about it. Because I didn't have autonomy over what I did. Like, it's just completely dictated by your parents and your school and whatever. I felt restricted, and I was pretty lazy, to be honest with you, because I didn't see any purpose. It's only really once I got to college when I was like suddenly became self-disciplined, freaking like fanatic kind of. Uh, like I've always had big dreams about like conquering the world and doing crazy stuff, but I just never like acted on it because I don't know, scared or something. I found my childhood boring. I didn't get along with other kids. I was socially inept because people didn't teach me social skills, so I taught them myself. Um, yeah, I don't like my past self at all. I hate thinking about him.
Very interesting. Okay. Would you say you were a little bit more reserved or assertive as a kid?
Reserved. But certain people around my friends, I was really assertive. Apparently, around people I'm really comfortable with, I was assertive.
Okay, yeah.
But otherwise, because I was inhibited, I didn't talk. Kind of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Describe your ideal world.
Everywhere looks like um, big cities with skyscrapers like Manhattan, um, and um, everyone's a bit smarter. Um, Everyone is more interesting and not like NPCs. Uh, um, Everyone is more, yeah, just like chill, like free spirited. Everyone is just so anal.
Okay. That's funny. Oh wait, whoopsies. Here. Then tell me, what is your favorite word or favorite words? You can choose up to 5.
I like cunning.
Cunning is a good one.
I like ubiquitous.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Uh, there's so many words. There's way too many words in the English language for me to. Let me hang on. I have some. Hmm. Dang. They're ethereal. That's a nice one.
Ooh. These are like all of my favorite words too. Okay.
Oh.
Some of them, they're like good ones.
Oh man,
Okay.
Oshkosh.
Right.
Oshkosh.
Oh, inarticulable.
Inarticulable?
That's going to be the name of my fourth book.
Is it like unable to be articulated?
Something that is, I guess, either too profound or too not able to be articulated just using words,
I love that.
But that doesn't mean they can't be articulated using other things, imagery, music maybe, or just pure experience.
Very, very good.
Or you take drugs and then you figure it out. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Okay, I'm a little ahead of myself right now, actually. Okay. All right. Hypothetical question. Imagine you wake up and find yourself in the middle of a forest with no phone. What is your response?
Is there any other information I can go from here? Or is it just me in a forest with no phone? That's the end.
Just you in a forest with no phone.
Run or walk very quickly at least in one single direction until I find somewhere that's not the forest anymore, some form of civilization, and then like if I'm hopefully I'll be like on some kind of a road, and then I just chill and wait until a car passes, and then once a car is passing, I'd stand in the middle until I get their attention, and then get myself to salvation.
Okay, so does this scenario arise like fear in you? A bit.
If I'm like comfortable, or like if the forest is really beautiful, maybe I'll be okay with it. If I'm really really hungry, and if it's like a desert where there's or not like very deserted forest, where there seems to be little hope of me, then I might panic. Yes, a little bit.
Okay, okay. All right, next question is, what are your interests and hobbies?
Writing.
What?
Primarily writing.
Writing.
Talking to people. I always get a kick out of that. Let me think. Philosophizing, I guess. Except I'm beginning to question. All right, so lately I've had this kind of psychological crisis where I'm trying to figure out if all the philosophizing that I've been doing my whole life is actually meaningful, if it's actually going to help me. Um, my girlfriend, it's kind of complicated what my deal is with her. She's an ISFP, just for context, and when I talk to her, or even like say INFPs or ENFPs, sometimes it's fascinating to hear how trivial they make all these things that I think about out to be. And I asked them, like, how can you feel comfortable going through your life not being certain of what makes something true, what makes something good? It's, all these kinds of really important questions to me. And they say, oh, no, I'll just figure it out eventually, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't change anything. And so now I'm like, yeah, trying to figure out if that even matters. Basically, I'm primarily focused on whether something is going to help my life or not, whether it will get me closer to my goals or not, pretty much, and everything else is secondary to me.
Okay. All
I wrote a
right.
whole book on self-discipline.
You wrote a whole book already?
Yeah, on self-discipline. It's not a very long book because people with lack of self-discipline aren't gonna have the self-discipline to read a long book. But
Yeah.
but because when I every other night I literally have a nightmare in my bed that I'm back in school and I'm like failing in class or something, because that'd be me, when I was younger, and I wasn't comfortable doing that, but I couldn't help it because I was so depressed and saw such little meaning in life that I just couldn't do it, basically. And like I'd get distracted by my girlfriends or by other stupid things,
Yeah.
and I'm always just like traumatized like like yeah. And so I became very determined as I aged, to give myself every single reason and take away every single excuse from doing work, pretty much.
Okay. So how okay. So self-discipline is something that you have struggled with and gotten better at, it sounds like.
Yes.
Okay. And that's something that's very important to you though, because if you aren't accomplishing things, then what?
Correct.
Yeah, then what?
Well, if I'm not I told myself when I was younger, if I don't become a multimillionaire by the time I'm 35, I'm going to commit suicide.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well,
I,
best of
I'm not completely sure if I think the same way anymore, but
okay.
it kind of that kind of thing drives you. You know what I mean? Like
Really?
it really helps you get out of bed in the morning. You know.
Okay, let me write all this down actually.
I just demand a good life for myself.
So- Okay. Okay. What's my next question? Okay. Don't even think I need to ask. Okay, how would you like to be seen?
As a total mystery.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Like,
And why?
you know what I mean? Like, everyone wants to be the mystery girl that no one can figure out, you know?
Oh my God. And you're the
Um,
pixie dream girl.
yes. I would like to be seen as very, very, very smart. That's always been very important to me. As someone who has accomplished far more than the average person. Yeah, I want to be looked at as a role model, I guess. That's this might sound selfish, but that's kind of a very big reason why I want to have children. It's because I want to have that impact on certain people who will look at me as kind of God in a way without actually being God, and have that like and see how I can influence what the highest level of influence you can have on someone's life is. Obviously, without like becoming an all-consuming force or anything, but like I believe people have a lot of potential, and it's almost my duty, I feel, to guide them to it to the best of my ability. Otherwise, I am insufficient, kind of. I think that's the also in terms of like value, that's the greatest value you can give to someone's life, much more than I think giving them $100 even. So then we're talking about reciprocity. If then I can ask for something back, and yeah.
Very good. Okay. How giving are you in relationships?
To the satisfactory degree, I guess. I don't know.
What does
If
that
they
mean?
want something, I will give it to them. If they want $1 million, I won't. It's you know. I'm definitely all right. With respect to the general population, I'm more on the generous side for sure. I've met some really stingy people compared to me. Um, yeah, I have been taken advantage of before by a few people. So yeah, I'm more on the generous side. Yeah.
Um,
But
I
because I'm
know.
such a broke college kid, I can't.
I get it. I know that self-improvement is important to you. That's clear. Tell me about that. Tell me why and how it's important to you.
Because uh, I thought about this a year ago, and I came to this strange idea. It could all just be an ego thing. Maybe. I don't exactly know. Um, how it feels to me is um, I hate the past, and the present could be better. And if it continues like this, I don't even know if life is worth living. And I really, honestly, I really don't know if life is worth living. Um, let's put it. I wrote this in my book. Okay, I'll reference my own book. The present constitutes just today, right? Just today. Okay. The future. Suppose I live until 80, and I'm 21 right now. I did the math. That's like 12,000 days. Hang on. Let me Google that just to be sure. Oh yeah, like 12, or maybe it was even 25,000. One of those two numbers. I don't remember. If today I make an improvement that will affect the rest of my life by at least 1 in 12,000, then that's a positive investment, right? So why the hell don't I just do that every single day? And the fact of the matter is, it's I have to trust myself that I will be able to continuously do that for myself. If I take a day off and I don't have an adequate excuse for taking that day off, what that means to myself is I can't rely on myself to sustain that, throughout my life. I might stagnate, you know. That's what I'm trying to run away from constantly. Also, I have like 50 million dreams, and for even just a few of them to be really possible, I need to do this. I want to become a DJ. I want to become an actor. I want to write a lot of books. I want to explore the world. I want to marry someone that's of high stature that I get along with really well, and all these things. You need to like invest a lot of time, a lot of effort. There is no getting around that.
Yeah. Yes. What do you avoid?
Wasting time.
Okay.
People who I feel are toxic as well.
I feel toxic. Toxic people. What kind of people are toxic?
Very negative people. I saw a study recently to justify what I'm saying, that apparently if you have a room of 5 people and then you bring in another person that's really negative, that decreases the productivity of everyone in the room by 40%, and it causes 50% more arguments, and it's just this negative energy. I believe certain people are literally negative. I believe that certain people literally have negative value. Like the world would be objectively better if they could just die, pretty much. And it pisses me off that they feel entitled not only to exist and be satisfied with themselves the way that they are, but also to go around to other people and disrupt their lives, you know? If I am to care about my friends and care about people who I love, okay, then that necessarily means I would prefer for those people to go to hell, pretty much. Which I think a lot of people don't understand. Like they're like, you're being insensitive. Like,
Okay. Just assertive type things. Okay. Just frustration type things. Oh, it's funny. Okay. Let's see.
I open up a lot more on these things than I'm usually not this like on and on and on, with my speech,
No,
but
it's fine.
because I'm trying to give you as much information as I can to, yeah.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I'm not.
No, I'm just telling you that so that you have a well-grounded perception of who I really
You're
am.
giving me context. You're giving me social context. I get it. I get it. Relatable. Okay. All right. So imagine you are traveling down a path towards a destination, and it's the only path you can be on, but there's someone standing directly in your way and refusing to move. What is your response?
I kill them.
Kill them. Got it.
I mean, if they're doing absolutely nothing to get out of the way,
Okay. The
Like
destination.
I explain to them, listen, I need to go this way, and they're like, nope. Like your sole purpose on planet Earth is to piss me off,
The destination is the destination, man. All right, let's see. Okay. What is your relationship with anger and how aware of it are you within yourself?
Sometimes I try to just completely forget about it, because not consciously or because I don't value feelings, but because I feel it so often and so much, kind of, in a way. Like I'm just kind of in a constant state of agitation that it becomes like white noise eventually. It's like, okay, like, you know, it's not this is just part of my life almost. But then other times when I really, think about it and then yeah, I'm like, there's always things I'm angry about, pretty much. Um, I'm trying to work on it, but it's hard.
Um, okay. And I also, let's see.
It's just if everyone in the world was me, then we wouldn't have all these, or not me exactly, but thought in a rational way like I did. Then all of the stupidity that I encountered. Like, if I had to tell you the experience I had yesterday at a gelato store I had at Little Italy, they made five mistakes while they were taking my order. It was just like I was ready to just anyway, you know.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay. Okay, so now I feel pretty confident on most of your typing. Well, okay, I need to double check a couple things. Okay. Um, I want to know one thing. There's a couple things I want to double check, two exactly. So, do you feel like, because I think social mobilization seems to be important to you, correct?
Social mobile. What do you mean by mobilization of social?
Like, how can I get to a higher rank? How can I connect with these people? How can I prepare for my futures? It's thinking about yourself in a broader scope.
Yes, broadly
Yes.
speaking, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so I'm wondering if there's an element of using your own kind of charisma, charm, an internal sense of like tension or attraction to help you with that goal.
I mean, that's all we can use, right? Is our own charisma. Um,
Yes.
but to be honest, I see other people with a lot of charm and they look really cool, and I try to emulate that in myself pretty much.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
The other alternative is people who are engaged in the social from a bit more aloof place of like um how can I say that they want something that's a little bit more they're more formal about it. And so they're using things like the actual physical resources they have to mobilize them socially. So not as engaged in terms of like charisma connecting that kind of tension, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
Are
you
you
think you
asking
use
me if I fall into that camp?
yeah, 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 yeah.
No, I'm pretty bubbly. I'm pretty outgoing. Yeah.
And that was my initial instinct, but some of the things you said wanted to double check. And then another thing I want to double check before I give you your full typing. I am curious. Actually, no, this is a good question that'll help me. Okay, give me your internal head talk.
What the hell does internal head talk mean?
What goes on inside your head? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it pictures? Is it words? Is it angry? Is it, what is it?
Probably a lot of it's angry.
Okay.
Um, it's words and pictures, both.
Okay.
Um, but it's like the words are. It's not like sentences like you read in the book. It's just kind of sounds, and then you have to kind of. It's frustrating. You have to make sense of those sounds. Um, I have synesthesia. Are you familiar with what that is?
Yeah, I have synesthesia as well.
What's
Yeah.
that? What's
So
that?
everything is attached to like every memory I have. Everything I see is attached to some kind of other sense, and it's very beautiful, honestly, and it's a very nostalgic for me.
Synesthesia.
And so I try very hard to hold on to that and to arrive at this kind of ideal. You know what I mean? I believe that these things that I'm seeing are guiding me somewhere, almost in a way, and I have to figure out where that place is. And I know that's such an impractical and stupid way to look at things, but
Yeah.
what, like, it's the closest form of God that there is. So what can I do? You know?
I just realized now that your type is coming together, you have a type twin that I have given a type 2. And that should be fairly common. It has happened before, obviously, but not as commonly as you would think because there's so many type combinations. I think I calculated one day there's like 5,000 or something like that. So to have an exact type twin isn't as common as you would think.
Exact type twin.
As far as what I've typed, yes. I was just remembering that I've typed someone your exact type, which has not really happened much yet. So because I've typed probably 150 people, so it hasn't happened all that often yet. So the type that I see in you, and this is what's tricky about I think this type, social 7.
Boom! 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 I told you.
Shit.
What was the bet? What was the bet?
I was trying to tell Mercer I could be an ENTP and be a 3W4, but no.
You could, and that's the thing is that was what I was trying to discern the entire time. Do you believe that you are more of a 3?
Mercer said to me when I tried to tell him long ago, I'm a 3W4 SOSP like he is. He said,
Yeah.
I don't think so, man. And I'm like, how do you know that? And then he says, well, you know, ENTPs, there are only 7 socials and 7 SPs. So I'm like, but then what's the point of Enneagram anymore if everything's just everything? And
No,
you know,
I think it's possible, and it was hard. If you do think you're more of a 3, I'm willing to hear you out. But like from what I saw is that there's a lot of, well, first of all, just starting with the center of intelligence, there's so much mental energy, and I know that comes with being like any dominant. So
you
it
picked
does
up his
lend
ENTP
towards
too?
that.
You picked up
But
his
I'm just
ENTP.
gonna here. I need to close out of. I need to just make this screen bigger so I kind of go through everything I saw. Okay, so I felt like you, as much as you have an intense drive to like become a certain person. That is part of the social 7. Actually, is like they want to kind of be the person they felt like they lacked, in order to kind of like schmooze, be impressive, whatever. But it's all kind of fake at the end of the day. It's yeah, it's for the social goal. But I mean, like, it's not fake. It's more of an ego thing. That's what I mean. And you kind of admitted that also. So, also, I don't. There's a lot of hexad energy. I can just go through though a lot of the things that I saw. Okay, so starting at the beginning, you're very animated, and this tells me you could be an image type. It tells me you could be a 7. Tells me there could be a link between the 7 and the image, which is what I saw, because those two together make someone very like animated in a more showy way, rather than like just animated and I don't know what's going on, like I am. But I'm turning my notifications off. This is insane. Why I'm getting so many. Hold on a second. That is so distracting. Okay. Anyway, I also saw.
Any Dom in the conversation.
Of course.
I thought it was definitely possible. Yeah.
It's like no, it couldn't be, dude.
I was thinking either ENTP or ENTJ probably. Also though, like, okay, so something you did do which told me that you had a lot
You're
of
thinking, wait, you're between which types?
probably ENTP or ENTJ was what I was between. Just like gut, but I'm not really thinking about
ENTJ's a lot too direct for me.
We're way too focused.
But I mean, based on what I was thinking of, it wasn't exactly Myers-Briggs. But so you say that you're narcissistic, which is something that, like, I mean, a 7 is not. I mean, I think a 3 might not. They might admit it, but a 7 is going to playfully admit it, more so than a 3 would. But you also do something that tells me that you have a lot of attachment energy and or attachment fixation in you. So the 3, 6, and 9 are attachment types, and they're kind of like defining themselves based on the outside world. Like, this is what other people say about me. This is how the world kind of defines me, and they're trying to fit themselves into that box. So you did have a lot of that going on, especially in the first question. But then, I mean, in the social, you seemed very bored. Boredom was a huge theme. Like, you don't really care in the social setting. You're always trying to multitask. Like, what more things can I learn? There is such a mental gluttony that I noticed, of like, okay, where can I go next? It's just this constant mental activity.
Yes.
Yeah. And I noticed that for sure. You're like, I just want to kill two birds with one stone. And I think you have a lot of assertiveness, which is very clear in your communication style because you're extremely direct. Sometimes with people's notes, I'll have 6 pages of notes, because you're not doing what some of the other types would be doing. Even a 7-wing 6, I think, would be less direct. I think you're probably a 7-wing 8. Also with choosing your animal, a lot of it is like mental things. It's like you want the language, you want to be able to go everywhere. It's an adventure. There's the expansion.
What would other people rather be? A fucking walrus? Like what?
I chose killer
Fucking
whale.
walrus? No.
I chose killer whale.
I said a bird as well.
Mercer.
I said a bird. I completely agree with your answer. But
Yeah,
some
because
people-
a bird, if I'm thinking what I value, I would like to be able to fly, I would like to be able to swim, and I'd like to be able to walk. Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't anyone else want that?
An albatross, it's a big bird. It can do all of those things too. I knew exactly what kind of bird I wanted to be. But I don't know. I get some people say like turtles. Some people say like a dog. Or
Go anywhere.
The fuck?
Yeah. Okay, so then also moving on to your childhood, you don't remember a lot of it. This isn't always a 9 thing, but it is often a 9 fix thing, and this was the first hint that you could have a 9 fix, because 9s tend to kind of numb and forget in order to kind of cope with negativity. But then your reasoning is because you don't have a lot of autonomy. This is a gut fix thing, but it's also 7, 8 type area thing, because there's the assertive need to be able to go after what you want, and the freedom kind of expansion of the 7, as well as the 8 to not have limitations. So there was a lot of focus on like you just feeling restricted, like you just need this freedom, which is very 7-ish. You found things boring. Yeah, and then so this is like also what kind of supported the social 7 is you felt socially inept, so then you taught yourself social skills, which is like such a social dominant thing. Like there's no question you're social dominant. That was your instincts were immediately obvious to me, but I wanted to confirm them.
Is it SOSB or SOXX?
SOSX, you starting out so sparkly and like showy and like in my face engaging with me was screaming to me SOSX. And you were even admitting that you're using your personal zest, whereas Mercer was more like, he was more composed, he was more aloof and detached. You're engaging. And I see
Is that a good thing?
Yes, I'm SOSX 7. Like literally, I'm the same thing. Okay, why would I be trashing on myself? I'm just a very different setup in other ways.
Because like when you're saying he's engaging, like that's like a really nice compliment. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure you meant it in the, you know.
Did you mean it? Yeah, I meant it.
Yeah, you got up and started fucking dancing. I would never do that shit. I would never do that. It's too embarrassing.
Why? Because the social 3, I mean, they're so composed. Usually, especially social self-preservation 3, they're extremely composed. Like they're just like, and with the 4 fix, even more so. It's like statue. So like even Mercer right now, I don't even know if he's paused or lagging or what.
I'm here. So. I'm here.
Yeah, we can't hear you properly, Mercer.
You can't hear me?
What?
It's too hard to hear you.
Yo, can you hear me?
Okay, it's better now.
Okay, can you hear me?
And then lots of free-spirited comments. Your words are like all about
Yo, can you hear me?
It's kind of being hard to catch.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Saying things like there are too many words to choose, like you're just looking at all the options. 7s are just like, wow, there's so many options in this world, because they're mentally mapping and they see like the horizon and every possibility of like in a positive way what could be. But this is where I
mean, I just see that as like, you know, there are however many thousand words. How do I know which ones are my favorite? I have to go through all of them to really know, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of a head center dialogue.
But like, am I wrong or am I right? Like, am I right or am I right? You know.
not wrong.
Yeah.
It's not saying you're wrong.
So in my opinion, anyone who doesn't do that is not thinking about the question in a critical enough way. That's just me.
And this is funny too, because you did this throughout where you're like, well, my way of thinking is the right way of thinking, and anyone who doesn't think this way, you're probably wrong. And it's this kind of, I will say a little arrogant, but it's like this frustration where it's like, well, if things could be better, they should be better. And if you're not doing it the better way, get out of my way. Like, so
Yes.
it's this very pushy. So you're frustrated with kind of in the mental head center, you're like, I see how things can be better. I'm going to go after that. And then there's the 8 wing of, and if you're in my way, get out of my way. So like, you're dumb. I don't really have this, you don't have the space of adapting in your core. So there's not really that allowance, I guess I'll say. Whereas with me with a 6 wing, I would be more like trying to get along with the people, but also going after what I want. So yeah, you're pushing for sure. Which is definitely an 8-ish thing. There's a lot to go through, but there was a lot of really funny frustration comments. Like I would say a lot of like the bitchiness. I always just think frustration's kind of bitchy, and I say that in a positive way because I'm frustration, but like just how like negative people don't add any value and they should die and things like that.
I feel like that too, man.
Like,
I think stupid people.
Like that's such bitchy frustration energy. I can't imagine like really a 3 just being like, I don't know. Like you have a lot of 3-ishness in you, and that's the thing with the social 7 is they look like an image type off the bat. Like almost always they look like an image type. And that's the one type that I will agree with Naranjo on, to be honest. He's just so real for that type. But other than that, in terms of the rest of your setup, you definitely have a 3 fix. I don't think you're surprised by that. I think it's your first fix. And I think in the heart and the gut, sorry, your gut fix is last, and I think it's a 9. Yes.
Really?
Well,
Not
I think
one?
that a 1?
Yeah, I mean, I read the description for 9 and 1, and I relate much more to 1 than 9, but that's just me.
Okay.
Why
We
9?
can explore. Well, yeah, we can explore that. And let's see. I think your
I have very like
relationship
strong morals about like, what's good, what's bad. Like you were saying,
that is social 7 frustration applied to the world.
and then 9 is about like justice and stuff, and I'm like, I don't really
no,
much.
that's the whole gut triad. If you're in the gut triad, you're concerned with justice. If you have a 9 fix, it just means like, so in terms of like the 8 and the 1 are pushing against people more, the 9 is like, don't push against me. They're more likely to be like, yeah, I want to kind of be shiny, liked, adaptable to whatever I need to fit to this environment. So they share similarities with the 3, but they're also more likely to repress their anger. They're more likely to focus on the positive. Whereas a 1, they have a strong sense in their gut of the internal critic of like, this isn't right. And if I don't do the thing that is right, it will like, it's a compulsion. Like it will hurt them almost. And if you feel that, then that's a strong sign I could have misassigned.
I'm in between. It depends on the situation. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I feel like you had a decent amount of attachment and especially given that you have like a double hexide core, it weighs a lot. You're definitely frustrated and you're definitely pushing against things you think are wrong, and it applies to the social, like the world of like what everybody else is doing.
Sure.
Yeah, so I definitely think a lot of that could definitely be coming from your core. But yeah, I think I saw in terms of links, the 3-1 link is a little bit more dry competency, and the 3-9 link is more like shiny. What can I say? Like wanting to kind of say all the right things in a way. So yeah.
I also heard, I guess, well, yeah, I do have a need to want to say the right things, yes, on account of being a writer.
I think it would be FE.
but also no, but also I want to be like I hear these really cool motivational speeches and stuff, and I'm like, wow, like the fact that you can have that much impact just with your words is like, you know.
All right, well, Henley, I got to get out of here, guys. It was a pleasure.
All right,
So we
thank
gotta-
you.
Hey, Henley,
I mean, yeah,
sucks-
Clee can stay. You can. Yeah.
Hey, suck to
Yeah,
suck,
yeah.
bro. I
We
was
can
right.
discuss.
I was right, Henley. You gotta eat this one.
You
man.
were right, nice.
Yeah, he's ENTP. We got him as an ENTP. All right, well, all right,
That's
guys.
fair.